The recent video was me being angry and sad about the development in Eve Echoes. This is the video with all the fixes. Everyone can say that the game sucks, and in some cases, games do suck, and they need to be called out, and so I do. I also stand for the community when companies behave badly. I do my share of negative videos, and you might be one of those who say that those videos do not help, but they do. And of course not in itself. They uplift issues that many players don't see, and for them to notice that issue later on, it might make them more angry than knowing it right away. Because we are not only talking about money or the monetization, we are talking about time, players' time. And a player's time is even more important than money in many cases. This is also why my videos tend to be short and on point as much as I can, because I value your time. It also helps us cope in dealing with the stuff that we don't like. This gives a voice that you might agree with, and it also might tell people that they are not alone in feeling this way. But I don't just bring up bad stuff in games without knowing what I'm talking about, and most of the time I have the solutions to the addressed issues in the same video. And this is another one of those videos. So are you guys ready for me to address all the major issues right now? In no particular order, since everyone is really bad, but I will also give the solutions for them all. And if you like this content, then subscribe to my channel for more. It helps me a lot more than you think. The tech level. Eve Echoes tech level needs to go, because it is really bad, especially for new players. The initial idea is good, and I get that it's somehow needed, but just because we need a solution for issues like bots and other, does not necessarily mean that the players have to suffer. One of the first things that new players are faced is the tech level. The more you skill, the faster you get to higher tech level, and of course, paying real money gets you there faster. But what do you think happens when the players start this game, and a half year in, when they still enjoy the game, they will realize that there's another average 1 year until they can fly the ships that can do the content that we get the updates for. 1 more year of flying lesser ships that, with low skill points, can't even hassle the way through the PvE content to make ISK. So they are faced with two options: pay more or keep not making progress. Not to talk about the alphas, that are the real heroes here, but regular paying players that can't enjoy the necessary parts of the game. This is a big mountain to climb, and it stops players from staying within the game. And here's my solution. There are several good ways that I hear that can make this better, but they also comes with issues. My solution for this, I do feel, is superior. Remove the whole tech level, and instead make players skill for the ship hulls and the items, like a Mar Cruiser skill to be able to fly an Omen or a Mauler, as well as a Mar Logistics skills for flying a Mar Logistics. This way we can keep the time it takes to fly a lot of ships, but to be focused in one type, or maybe two types, you can do that within 6 months. And this will not make you invincible, but at least you are being able to participate with your friends. The only bad part with this is the low tier ships. They will become useless, so we will need to give them roles that changes so that they still are useful, but cheaper, if players fancy that. I'm not saying that all ships would be good ships, but if you don't want to waste too much ISK, then a cheaper ship might be better for you, with 1 slot less for example. It's embarrassing to see what alphas can do, and to call this game a free to play is straight up lying. It's as free to play as playing a slot machine with fake money. Some stuff, like slower skill time, is fair in my opinion. Maybe some restrictions to the top ships, I stand behind that. But not being able to trade, not being able to do contracts, not being able to train some skills, it's kinda in the gray zone for me. But the fact that alphas can't even use the Lazarus reset options, or even stuff like translate others in the chat, is incredibly shallow of NetEase. It's like not letting alphas dock, or refit their ships, or warp. This is why the game is not free to play. It is pay to play with pay more to progress faster. And having an alpha community would be helpful for the game. Some people just want to enjoy the game without a competitive mindset, and they should be able to. So what's my solution? Make alphas be able to do everything that Omega can. except maybe fly some of the top ships, but at least let them fly battleships. But let them collect as much skill points they want, but only have a fixed amount active at once. Sure, let them skill slower, and maybe introduce more advanced skill books that they can't learn. Make alphas hard, but definitely do not make them crippled at every part of the game. Bad support through the ticket system. We get no help, and sometimes the proof that we need to have on hand is or was impossible to get. This has been addressed a lot, but never have I seen a change in this regard. It is so bad that most people don't even bother to ticket an issue. They simply just don't have time. I remember 2 times I've done it, and none was a pleasant ending. At least get some people who know English enough to not use translation and misunderstand everything that we say. I mean, it's hard to explain it as it is. And with the bugs that we have in the game, it's very unfair. And this even seems like another way for us to just accept it and pay more money to continue. Now the solution is get English speaking people, as well as something that helps you record events within the game. It is not fair that we have to explain what happened and show you proof and print screen before and after, because we might not even know what happened ourselves. And also fix that we don't have to open a new ticket every time we need to reply. This is so annoying, and I don't know how you guys can keep track, because I don't remember what I said last time, so this would make it a lot easier to keep the conversation going. In-game lag, disconnects, and overall bugs that seems to never get fixed is also very vital to address. Will they ever fix the in-game environment text that some people see? I can't say what this happens because I've never seen those texts, so it can be due to bad devices, but I mean, it's a thing. Netis at least claim that they still work on the disconnections and the black screens. But when the game is the way it is, losing ships due to the game's fault is never fun. And honestly, people who lost their ships are the players who play the game. And to treat them with disrespect and not help those people, while also not addressing this issue, this is what makes players leave the game. Definitely if they have to use the ticket service for help. So what's the solution? I have no idea. Just fix it. The insurance. This needs a change, if not even removed. The game seems to move more and more towards a pay-to-PvP game. By this to be better and go on PvP. It all started with insurance that removed most of the competitive industry jobs in the game. We all heard it. No items get lost. Same with ships that keep spawning back to your hangar. Not only does this take away the ability to make profit mining and building new stuff, but it also makes sure that the items' values are dropping. Minerals have less and less value every day, and Netis' reason not to fix most of this is, well, if items are too expensive, then players won't buy it. That is wrong. The more expensive and the more rare items are, the more we want to farm for it. It's kind of a trophy to fly expensive ships and have expensive gear. If everyone fly the same ships with the same fitting, the excitement kinda get lost, don't you think? I do feel that IP is necessary, so my solution involves that. My solution is, make IP attached to a ship. This way you will at least have to think about what ship you feel needs one. Maybe your hauler does not need one, then fine. But your PvP or PvE ship, they might. The change here is that if you buy insurance for a ship and you don't die and you decide to sell it, you will lose that IP you attached. The other solution we need to have is what you get back from when using IP. First off, I say, let IP for a ship be valued at insert % of hull price and don't give back items or rigs. I do agree that nanocores should be retrievable, but it should not be added into the value. This both would give us an option to where to put our hard-earned ISK, as well as fixing the industry. Monetization. The pay to win ain't that bad. There are worse games, but in EVE Echoes, it's all we get. So it feels unhealthy. This game didn't start with pay to win, and I always feel that they probably wouldn't go there, at least not aggressive. In time we did get nanocores that was only able to buy with real money. They had some slight advantages, but during EVE Echoes' lifetime, we got so many boxes, nanos, and of course even ships in pools that it was on the brink of too much. Now recently they added implants that will cost you about $6,000 with real money if you wanna level 1 up to max. And it's probably a bit over a lifetime to grind in game, if that's even possible. This is what I mean with NetEase claiming the game to be suited for casual gamers who don't want to risk too much, cause they leave the game, but they spend their whole life grinding and stop eating food to support implants. It just sounds weird. Don't think I hate the implants, cause I don't. The drone implants are great, they have a chance to proc and the stuff that they do ain't that crazy. But more fun stuff like they slow you down, maybe jam you once in a while, you know, nice cool stuff. But NetEase need to look in the mirror and understand what they're doing is bad for the game. The solution: how about you test it before you're applying the stuff online? Let your content creators test all that shit on the test server so they can see if it's breaking the game. It's not that hard. Also listen to the people, try to understand what we want. We are the consumers. It is normal that companies create what people want, and only then you can add loot boxes and stuff. We all know that the game needs money. That's not the biggest issue, but show that you care for what we want, then we are more understandable to what you want. No one will pay for a broken game, but most people support a great game. We have got some good updates in the past, and I always applaud them when they bring out the good cake. But now they state that we only get one major change once a year. This first of all made me get down on my knees and give up. Games in general needs to be maintained often, and definitely mobile games. To get players in mobile games to stay, you either give them free stuff or you give them constant, exciting new stuff to get their hands on. I know that EVE Echoes is different in the way that there's no free stuff and the game is supposed to be somewhat harsh. But the reason I feel this is a big issue is that we get mixed feelings from NetEase. In one hand, the game is not supposed to be hard, because then players will leave the game. But in the other hand, the game is ruthless and don't care at all. So the solution for it: updates every week is okay. But if you're not fixing stuff, then you should add events. Have 1 or 2 week simple events. Change it up and make us move around. Now it's not that difficult. I can come up with a couple events right now. Add more bounties to one of the faction pirates for 2 weeks. Or make them attack miners in bells in some events. Or have faction pirates try to haul stuff through high sec, you know they're null sec, and then be looted by players. Do something. I got tons of ideas on my channel, so it's not hard to watch that. And it's not even hard to come up with your own stuff. There's a lot of stuff that needs attention in this game, but I feel these are the biggest ones. And if you got more ideas, which I know that you do, let me know in the comments. And NetEase, I would like you to comment here as well for once. And I see you guys again.